Revival of Islam, the sole task of the promised Messiah alayhi salam. But how did he bring about this magnificent revolution? It wasn't easy. He communicated the true message of Islam to the entire world. How? Through his writings. And his books form a huge collection of around 100 books, which means a lifetime of writing, having it printed and published, and then circulated to all parts of the world. The printing press was one of the revolutionary technologies that the British had taken with them to India. The government made the most of it, and so did the church mission societies. But it wasn't the common man's cup of tea. Barry is now one of the few people with the skill and knowledge and expertise of every step involved. He's operated these 19th century machines all his life. Hi Barry, thank you very much for your time today. We're trying to understand how some of these books were printed. They're from the British Indian Times and they were printed in British India. So English printing like this type or this one here we have, how did this work? I mean, what kind of a machine was used and how did it actually happen?
Well, first of all the type would have to be handset. And looking at the typefaces, they had quite a selection of typefaces on there. So it'd be whatever type they had at the time to be able to print it.
Wonderful.
It was all done letterpress.
Letterpress.
Yeah.
And that exactly means, everything goes in letter by letter, is it?
Yes, all individual letters.
Great stuff. And is this the machine that was
This
then
would be,
used?
yeah, the exact type of machine that would have been used at that time. This one's 1830.
Whoa.
It would have been this type of machine.
Yeah. Barry, if I asked a massive favor, just to get a feel, to get an idea, because I believe it must have been a very painstaking process, putting letter by letter everything together. Is it possible we could see how that was done?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Thank you very much.
It's not a problem.
So I believe the letters, all of them were placed in do you call it a stick?
Yeah, composing stick.
Composing stick. And then all of them arranged in the right order?
Yes.
And then they go somewhere here? Can we see
Yeah,
where
they're
they went?
made up into the page.
Right.
And then printed on the machine. The type would go on the bed of the machine. It will be inked, paper placed on top.
Great.
Top comes down, and then the one operating machine with clean hands will be winding the machine in.
Great.
And then pull the platen down.
I mean, we know the letters, they were put on sticks, like you just said, then went into a galley. How were these borders made? I mean, they look like quite, they must have taken a lot of effort and time.
Yeah, this particular one would have been probably an Electra type, but it would be a generic border that the printer would just keep for pamphlets and leaflets like that and just place it in.
Yeah. How did proof and everything work? So did that happen while you were putting the letters on the stick?
We would set the type.
Right.
In that instant, make up one page. It's proofed.
Right.
Somebody checks it, which wouldn't be the compositor themselves because they would never check their own work.
Yeah.
So it would always be a proofreader. And any corrections, back to the compositor, make the corrections, and then it's printed from there.
Very interesting. Right. Wow. So, I mean, say if we were to, we can't reproduce the whole of it. It's, I'm sure it must take a lot of time and a lot of effort. But say if we were to just reproduce the main text on this page here,
yes,
how would we go about it? I mean, how does it work?
Well, we've got a type case here with all the alphabets in it. So if I could just lay that on there, and I will do, I'll set this one line, a valuable pamphlet.
Okay. So, and then they're all in different font sizes. And was that the same term used for them? I mean, we use them still today, like when we're working on MS Word.
Yeah, we tend to use fonts sizes, but we've got from small 6-point up to larger sizes, 72 point, like 1 inch.
Wonderful.
In metal.
Interesting. Wonderful. Now, you know what? I'm still thinking, how is this going to work? I'm here, I'm seeing all of this.
Yeah.
How is it going to work? Because you see, it's multiple lines.
Yeah, it's like a giant jigsaw. The typefaces are all set, a bit like a newspaper. You've got the adverts, you've got the illustrations, and it gradually all comes together.
So this is the tray we have here. What do you call it? A tray?
galley. A galley.
A galley.
Yeah.
And how do we place all these lines here?
Well, we've got the lines in the sequence that we want. The line I've just finished setting is in the stick.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'll lift it out of the stick and make sure not to drop it. Place that in there to try and minimise damaging it.
Mm-hmm.
I would tie it up with page cord.
Right.
And that's keep it nice tension.
So this is going to go to the machine, and then that is where
we
you
go
print
to
it.
the stone, and we have to impose it
Okay.
into a chase.
All right. Okay.
So okay, so we put it on the stone. This is furniture.
So you're gonna kind of lock it in.
We're
so
going to
that it's
squeeze it in,
Okay, great.
so it's nice and
Yeah.
tight. Take the page cord off.
So now they're gonna hold it all intact. So you don't need this now.
I've loosely locked these up. Now, if you could pass the planer,
The planer.
yeah,
Huh?
it's a piece of wood, nice and smooth, and we just loosely.
So now it's going to.
It keeps it nice and flat on the surface when it goes onto the machine.
That's fascinating. That is just simply beautiful. Wow.
Nothing's falling out. Now we carry it over to the machine.
To me, it seems more like a time machine than a printing press. You know?
Okay.
Right. So everything now seems to be falling in place.
Everything's ready.
And what are we doing next?
Well, it'd be inked next. And we would just do a proof,
Right.
and that could be corrected if necessary.
So the ink goes all over.
Not too much ink. It's
Not
all,
too.
no.
Mhm. There we go.
That's laid down.
Wow. Really excited. I really want to see what it comes out like. So now you're going to.
Yep.
And you have to know how much, isn't it?
Yes, ideally.
Right. Oh, wow. That is brilliant. So we've got the main text from the original.
Yes.
And this looks beautiful. And just look how nice and neat and clean it is. And I'll put my glasses on to actually enjoy the precision and the beauty of a machine, which is from, you said, 1830s?
1830.
Wow. That is great. Beautiful. So we've got the main text here. We've got the title, Star of the Empress, by the author, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, the Promised Messiah. And the border obviously would have been somewhere.
It would have been
inside here
placed
if it
around
was to
there,
be.
yes.
It's just beautiful. I really wish I could get a feel of how it works.
Yeah, well, the next one we print, you could do it.
Oh, can I?
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you very much, Barry.
You're
I'll
welcome.
come around there.
Yeah.
उसी की तहरी रे जहानो के नवेश्ते उसी की तहरी रे महबतों के मुनादी
Have you ever imagined the promised Messiah alayhi salam going through the whole of this laborious process himself on his own? Because there was a time, as he put it, when he was the author, which means he would write the book, he would take it to the scribes, he would take it from the scribe to the press, and then would collect the proof, proofread it, take it back to the press, and then when the books were ready, printed, published, would collect the whole bulk of books, have them loaded onto a bull cart, and bring them back to Qadian. And from there would start the process of sending them to all parts of the world through the post.
वो
He did all this to establish the supremacy of Islam over all other religions in the world, very painstakingly. And painstakingly in every sense of the term, because it involved a lot of cost, a lot of time, a lot of energy, actually, every fiber of his being. Next time we read any of his books, we should feel fortunate that we are reading the works of the Savior of the latter days, the works that came into being to revive Islam forever.